Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the show that has no title, no name. We just talk all things crypto and all things geopolitics, everything that has to do with the impact on the price of cryptocurrencies. So, welcome back. Let's get into it. Bitcoin, it's done its thing. We expected this kind of a drop. If you were watching yesterday's stream, my order got filled right at that level. We're going to be analyzing the price of Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about Donald Trump's appearance on 60 Minutes, a show hosted by some random news network. He did discuss crypto in there, so we will be going over that briefly. Bradley, hi. All things outdoor boys, new videos. What? That made no sense. We're also going to be talking about the government shutdown, as well as some FUD that has been going around. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Wintermute, some FUD is going on there with the market makers, of course. And also the... what's the other guy's called? There's an exploit, a hack that happened pretty recently. We'll be going over all of that. So be prepared. I have no idea what's happening here. So Bitcoin's price has continued dropping since yesterday. We've kind of seen it at 107,000, trying to approach 108,000 plus, but we eventually dropped this morning all the way down to a low of 105,265 was our lowest. Support level from, hold on. How could I see your chat? Okay, well, my YouTube studio is connected now. Whatever. So we had a drop all the way down there. The level that we had noted was 105,434. I didn't have my trigger ordered there specifically. I think I averaged it out a little higher. 105,900 is where I had my entry, which in retrospect, it's a little high. That's fine. That's pretty close. I'm happy with my entry. It's dropped my average price down to 108,912, which I like. It's basically $109,000 entry. That's pretty good for Bitcoin. If you're lucky enough to get it at these prices, I think it's still good. We did tap the oversold level as soon as this candle closed, so I'm content with the entry. RSI was at 29 at that period in the morning. We did dip a little lower right after that, but we kind of had a recovery as well. We dipped lower to the 105,265 that I mentioned, and then we immediately rose. Our highest point today was 108,277. Is that true? That is... I mean, technically, in the morning, but we haven't fully recovered to that point. We haven't broken 108,000 as of the time that we dropped over there. It's going to take a moment, but I think we can do it. We are technically still in a downtrend on Bitcoin, so just got to wait and see here. I am losing a lot of money everywhere, and that is totally fine. We should recover. I didn't even notice, but I actually had another order filled on World Liberty Finance. It dropped to 10. That is crazy. Current price is at 11. My average entry is now 12.90. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm pretty sure I had my entry here, right? It's 12 and then 11.62. Why did I have another entry at 11.62? Probably this line. What was I thinking? Whatever. Order got filled. It is what it is. The average entry is now dropped to 12.90, which is not too bad. We do see these kinds of peaks over here again. We'll be at a better profit, and this is kind of what I was expecting on World Liberty Finance. So there's that. Hyperliquid's the only one that's in the green for me right here. Beautiful entry, by the way. This got purchased overnight, in the morning. And, it's looking good. We dropped to a low of 38.24. I didn't hit the exact price, so no snipe, but it's close enough. I averaged out, I think, these levels. I wasn't expecting a drop that hard, but yeah, we did drop to 38.24 overall. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Don't think we need the Fibonacci for now. This looks valid, and the recovery so far has been decent. I have not put too much into it. Whatever. But the uptrend is this like uptrend line that we're seeing here. It looks like it still will remain intact. I know we technically do have a downtrend because this was to be expected. We were dangerously close to the 40, breaking below 40, which we did. That flipped the super trend to the negative, and now it's looking at a resistance of 48, but I think this is exaggerated. It might come down a little as time goes by, of course. So yeah, we gotta wait and see, of course, for Hyperliquid. I'm in Plasma still. Have we had any changes here? It's looking like a recovery. That's kind of in line with what I drew. Kind of. It's still going to take some more, though. I want it a little higher than this so I could get out of the position and just avoid Plasma at all costs. Watch, like, I don't know, sometime in the future, I'm going to be like, oh, I should have bought more at 27. Now Plasma is at, like, 64, let's just say. I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen, though, to be honest with you guys. In a good alt season, everything will pump. Sure, that's fine. But, I mean, specifically for Plasma, the tokenomics are not that pretty. So, I will be exiting as soon as I get a chance. Those are like the oddballs of tokens. Let's go analyze the normal stuff, like Ethereum. Ethereum, when did this get purchased? 3 a.m. The chart times are looking weird now because of the daylight savings time. We just had the time change here. It's also probably why, I don't know, for you guys, I'm either streaming 1 hour later, depending on where you are in the world. So, I mean, yeah, this is also messing up with my time charts. I want to see if I could fix that, maybe. Scales placement, nope. I mean, is this... Oh, here we go. No. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I don't think I could find specifically. Oh, here we go. Wow, doxing my address, thank you. Precision, yeah, that's fine. It is UTC -5. Well, I guess we're gonna have to deal with it. Sure, fine, we'll leave it there. It's not a big deal. It's just that the numbers aren't gonna be exact, and I have OCD when it comes to that kind of stuff. Alright, so where did I buy Ethereum here? 3,666, right, that was the number. A bad number, by the way, because we ended up dropping even lower. We dropped to a low of 3,556, not 666. Oh well. My average entry is now 3,729. Buying slightly early on both times before we actually become truly oversold. That seemed to have happened over here at 3,600 almost, right? Where the support level was. I think I just based off my entry off of these lines, which obviously it didn't hold. We banged on that support multiple times and we ultimately just broke through it just now. Super trend is still on its way down and validates at 4,000. So that's where we do have a true resistance for Ethereum. Our immediate like close-up resistance is 3,925, we'll say. So we're currently stuck between 3,600 and 3,925. I think we'll be oscillating around that zone for a while. No lower than, of course, this uptrend line that I have drawn from a very long-term perspective. So that should, you know, help us with good support. I don't think we should break below that level, which I'm referencing 3,400 whatevers. We should stay above 3,500, let's just say, for Ethereum. Moving on to Solana, down 5.92%. This is a nice dip. Of course, I think I bought way higher. I bought at 172, yeah. We ended up dropping way lower to 163. That's not good. Negative funding rate. That's a bottom indicator. And we are oversold. I mean, even now is a good time to be entering into Solana. I think I might. I don't put too much. Right here on market price, I'll just drop another 500. Yep. Just like that. So my average price, yeah, I like that. It's at 180 now. Cool. Downtrend is still there. I'm expecting a bounce. Yesterday, I mean, I didn't really look at the stock market today, but from what I saw, in the morning at least, things were kind of going up a little. We got good earnings as well from Palantir, a lot of partnership announcements from OpenAI, which we'll be going into more detail with all of that when we get to our news section. So, I don't know. It was kind of a mixed day, to be honest. But I'd say mostly in the green, I hope. I don't remember. I think, like, as soon as crypto started dropping, so was the stock market. Who knows? Who cares? Tomorrow will be a better day, right? It seems like there is also this thing coming up that I haven't really talked much about. I kind of referenced it in yesterday's stream, but I didn't really go into much detail, and I'll go into more detail on it today. And it has to do with a court appearance that Trump has to do. He will not be attending, but it's in regards to the tariffs, the Supreme Court, whether the tariffs are allowed to be put or not. I'll go into that, like I said, in more detail later on. So a lot of my orders did get filled, by the way. The only one that did not get filled was BitTensor, so we'll go ahead and have a look at that. It's on its way down right now as we speak, down 5% to 439.93. I'm liking that. I'm expecting the bounce to happen at 400, right? Good support level there. A lot of good reasons to be bullish on BitTensor, of course. It's shown its strength in the past couple of weeks, right? Compared to the rest of the markets, it's been performing very well. We got the ETP announcement in someplace in Europe. I think Switzerland, Sweden, whatever it is. We got a halving event coming up soon in December. And we also have the Grayscale Trust buying into BitTensor, right? Which is good. So that should be all good catalysts for BitTensor. I mean, you could argue that it's already been priced in and people are already taking their profits from here. I'm still willing to, believe that this is going to be a long-term affecting thing that we will continue to see shine on BitTensor as time continues forward, of course. So that's what I would expect on BitTensor. All right, moving on. Hyperliquid, I kind of briefly discussed, already. So my purchase is there at 39. No, did I even talk about Hyperliquid? What did I talk about? No, I did. I did talk about Hyperliquid, yeah. Yeah, it's a good entry, in my opinion. This is totally fine. I'm fine with it. I just didn't put as much as I would have wanted. I don't know, I'm just being greedy at this point. Sui dropped way too hard over here. We dropped to a level that I was not expecting us to. I had my entry at 211, but we actually dropped to a low of 199, so we did sort of like break below the $2 point. But that's clearly the most important support that we have right now on Sui, and the downtrend still seems very strong. Like the super trend is still peaking heavily downwards, so it's not a good sign. But I don't know, I might have to put another trigger order over here. And my liquidation price is 155. I don't think we're going to hit that. Lowest worst case scenario that we hit was 171. And this was on around April 7 time, right? Right now, we don't have fears like that in the market. There's a trade deal that's been announced with China. Why are we dropping? Well, there's other factors, but it's, in my opinion, way too much selling pressure that should not be there. People are not bullish enough, in my opinion. So anyway, my average entry is at basically 230. It's a little high. It's really low, actually. It's a really good entry. But, I mean, Sui's continued dropping from there. I might have to prepare for another entry somewhere. I'm thinking maybe $2, but I think I'll leave it for now because I've already put quite a bit in there. Where are we with Sui? Yeah, almost 4,000. That is a lot. I'm going to leave it there for now. If we do continue dropping close to liquidation price, I'll do something about it. Chainlink, it also did continue dropping. My order at 1581 did get filled, and we dropped way more below that to 1451 was our lowest point today. Crazy crashes. I could have had a trigger order at 1476. I just wasn't expecting a crash that big, right? So, I mean, yeah, these got filled. My average entry is now 1659 from 17 where it was before. Me thinking that was a good price. We just keep on buying these dips over here. We're still technically barely touching the oversold level. So even at these prices, 1539, decent entry on Chainlink in my opinion. We're at a low point. And you got a support there at the 14, I don't know, it dropped to 1451, but I would say the 1476 support level, that's what we were looking at closely over here. So yeah, we broke through a local bottom over here, so we are now making new lows on Chainlink. trend is now down. We need that government shutdown to end urgently, and it doesn't seem like it will. So that's what markets are upset about at this time, is what I see about it. Aptos actually had an order filled over here at 279, which is literally where we are right now in the price. That's pretty good. I like that entry. We literally bought the bottom. Lowest point we dropped was 272. Okay, not literally, but close enough. It's dropped my average price now to 298, so it's still a little high. Although 298 on Aptos, that is a steal. But still, we were talking about Aptos being like $3-4, right? Even $5 is what it hit. It was $4. And what was I being liquidated at $4? I think it was probably at these prices. So these are also new lows that we have not seen for Aptos, ignoring the October 10 crash, because that's the exchange's fault, right? We also have some news about, you know, Wintermute market makers. There's some FUD going around as to what happened on October 10, which we will also be discussing. And, well, I've been teasing it a lot. We'll discuss it all now, because that's basically it for my technical analysis. Like, everything is just going against us at this point. I was expecting us to rise, but we just ended up dropping, and the whole sentiment on crypto Twitter practically agrees with me with the fact that, okay, so what's the real reason why we're dropping? People will be like, I'm bored, I'm not going to research, but tell me why we're dropping, and nobody can give a good reason. I do have some, but I feel like there's such nothing burgers that we don't even deserve these kinds of drops. But I think it will be worth suffering through them if it means the payoff will be great, which I think it will. I do think we will continue to rise and have our next leg up, make new all-time highs. We'll have our alt season. If it's a super cycle, that's even better. But for this cycle, I don't think we have topped 126. That's not the top for Bitcoin. So it's going to go much higher, in my opinion. That's what I analyze. My opinion of the market. Do not take it as financial advice, because I only have 2 brain cells left. Moving on. So here's our news section. Donald Trump was on 60 Minutes, a show by, I'm assuming this is ABC, because I recognize this girl from the I don't really care Margaret, JD Vance thing, and also the debate, the vice presidential debate between JD Vance and Tim Walz. Anyways, so actually no, isn't CNN the host of 60 Minutes? I don't even know. Who cares? Trump was interviewed, and he defended his decision to pardon Binance founder CZ. So yeah, immediately we're talking about Changpeng Zhao. He said that he didn't know him, and he described the prosecution as a Biden witch hunt. He said that he knew nothing of Binance's $2 billion stablecoin partnership connected to his family's business, and emphasized that his sons managed their crypto operations. From the little bit that I saw in the clip, they mentioned, like, you know, he pleaded guilty to money laundering, and you're pardoning him? And Trump was like, look, I don't know anything about the case at all, to be honest with you. I don't know who CZ really was. I've just been hearing, you know, people have been telling me to pardon him because he's very important to the crypto community. And we want to make crypto great for America, is what Trump said. And even his sons, he said, are very involved in crypto. So he thinks it's going to be good. And he spent a good chunk of time talking good about crypto. Trump says, I only care about one thing. We will be number one in crypto, talking about the United States. And China is getting into it very big, is what Trump has also revealed. I don't know in which way. We have not heard anything from China in terms of cryptocurrencies or what they're planning to do with it. Last I heard is they were going to release a stablecoin for the Chinese yuan, but they ended up blocking that at the end of the day. So it's like, okay, well, nothing has really happened. Hong Kong is a separate issue. Like, they're pro-crypto, that's fine. But yeah, we hear now that Trump says that the US, he wants the US to be number one in crypto, and even says crypto a total of 8 times during that interview. And yet the price is just going down. So it's either like nobody is believing Trump anymore. People are skeptical, of course. People don't care about crypto. Or people are just not paying much attention. I don't know. Or maybe people see like this is just a pump and dump scheme that he's gonna manipulate the prices and make his own family richer with crypto, because that's what it seems like has been happening. But I think he does come from a genuine place when it comes to this kind of stuff, especially when he's referring to, you know, things like the government shutdown. House Speaker, this would be Mike Johnson, has told us that Trump is desperate to end the US government shutdown. And I'm sure that's not just to benefit crypto, but to benefit, I guess, the United States' economy itself, right? Because we see the numbers, and even Scott Bessent has revealed these numbers, is that we are losing billions of dollars every week because of this government shutdown. So it's something that has to end. And it's not like it's what the Democrats are saying. It's the Republicans. The Republicans control the House, the Senate, the White House. It's their shutdown. No, like it's been factually proven. Ask AI. It'll say that it's the Democrats' fault because they need an amount of votes to end the government shutdown, and the Democrats are withholding those votes. That kind of deal. I will also have a look at this. The U.S. government shutdown is now expected to last through Thanksgiving in November, right? Which will be until December 1st, according to Polymarket traders, which would be a 61-day shutdown, almost doubling the record. Air traffic control is now short over 3,000 plus employees. What is happening here? Yeah, the job market is taking a hit because of this. At the beginning, it seemed good for the rate cuts, which eventually we did get. We got those rate cuts. But now, you know, now that we got the rate cut, okay, cool. End of the government shutdown. We also need things to continue back to normal, right? But no. The first 30 days of the shutdown, the US government borrowed an incremental $600 billion plus of debt. That's an average of $19 billion per day that's being added to the US government's debt. And since the shutdown began on October 1st, over 3.2 million airline passengers have experienced cancellations or delays. I wasn't even aware of this, to be honest. If the shutdown persists through Thanksgiving, this number could exceed 10 million people from 3.2. The US is now on track for a 61-day shutdown, which is 7.5 times longer than average. All as the labor market crumbles and the Fed cut... I need water, hold on. Enjoy this ASMR of me opening a... What do you call this material? Stainless steel bottle? I don't think my mic sensitivity is there to capture the gulps. I don't care if you guys... I don't know. I don't even know if you care enough to hear that. Whatever. Okay. The US is now on track for a 61-day shutdown, like I said, all as the labor market crumbles and the Fed cuts rates amid a complete data blackout. That is another issue as well, is that we're just blindly assuming. We're not getting any economic data. We don't know what CPI numbers are like, the inflation, the non-farm payroll data. That's not coming out. The growth, GDP, that kind of stuff. Some of it does come out, but it's like it's either estimates or inaccurate data, historical data, that kind of stuff. So, you know, we do need that government shutdown ending. System is broken. Cool. Yeah, we'll see. Another thing that's potentially causing the markets to not rise as much as we would like it to is this case right over here. The U.S. Supreme Court will be discussing Trump's tariff case on November 5th, which will be this Wednesday. Expect market volatility leading up to the ruling. The Supreme, essentially, they'll be deciding if Trump's tariffs are legal or not on Wednesday, September 5th. If Trump wins, presidential power over trade will expand, while a loss of the court case may force refunds of billions of dollars and shake markets. Because, I mean, like I said, this has happened already. This is not the first time we're seeing this court case come up. It's happened maybe twice, I think, already. And both times we won. The issue is that, hey, they're like, Trump, you're not allowed to just decide to put tariffs on on other countries, who do you think you are? Are you the president? Well, yeah, he is. He's allowed to do that kind of stuff, in my opinion. But who am I to decide? I'm just a humble Canadian man. Anyway, in that case, though, if Trump loses this legal battle, which I don't know why he has to go through it the third time now, but if he loses it, that means all these tariffs that Trump has been putting throughout these past months on all these other countries, those are illegal. And all the money that has been collected from tariffs, which is it trillions at this point? I'm pretty sure. It's definitely a lot of billions of dollars. They're going to have to refund all of that. And I talked about that briefly yesterday, where Trump even said, hey, if that happens, we're going to essentially become a third world country because we have no good amount of money that will be coming into the United States from tariffs, because that's Trump's main weapon, is what it seems like, all these tariffs. Honestly, if you listen to Trump's name, you'll know that the word tariff will be coming up soon when it comes to all these news that you're seeing on the headlines. So that's not going to be good if the case gets lost. But we've won it twice in the past, which that should overall be bullish. Maybe that is the catalyst that we need. Trump himself will not be going there. By the way, he confirmed that he will not be going. But I'm sure his legal team will have it sorted out. I mean, he's the president. He must have the best legal team, right? This is saddening news. I touched upon rumors of this potentially coming out, and today it has been confirmed. Nancy Pelosi, 85 years old, by the way. She will not be seeking re-election in 2026, marking the end of her time in Congress. You know what this means? Our best insider trader is gone. She no longer has to report, according to the Stock Act, what trades she has been making, what insider trades she has. But she will also not have insider information because she will not be a part of Congress anymore. So I guess it all ends there. I mean, fair enough. It's a good way to go out. You've made your millions with insider trading. Go enjoy the rest of your... How many years does she have left? I don't know. Who am I to decide? She's 85 though. That's crazy. Yeah. Well, we will no longer have... Who are we going to get the insider trades information from? That's the big issue that a lot of people are seeing. But I mean, also a lot of people don't like her and her politics, so... I don't mind it too much. I don't even know specifically what it is. I know she's probably crazy, but that's all. I don't know. I don't know too much about her. Just making random allegations here. All right. That's enough for geopolitics. On to crypto-specific news. Michael Saylor did the thing, of course, that he always does, posting the Bitcoin chart. I didn't cover it yesterday. I forgot to, or just didn't see it. But today he confirmed he bought only 397 Bitcoins, which is $45 million. And how did you mess this up, Michael? He purchased it at $114,000 per Bitcoin. Did we even see these prices? Okay, I guess we did. No, when was this? October 28. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on when he bought it. 114,000 would have been like up here. Latest, October 28. Mind you, these are also OTC markets, so maybe they offer different prices, even if prices are genuinely lower on spot. But this guy never buys on spot. He only buys OTC because I don't know. I'm sure he finds deals with it, but that's a really bad deal, buying at 114,000. And it wasn't that much either, also, like 397 Bitcoin. Every time it seems like he's buying less and less and less. I mean, 45 million, that's still pretty good and like peasant money when we're talking, you know, people like us, like retail. When will you ever get $45 million? But yeah, I mean, fine. And wow, Peter Schiff is also commenting on this. I didn't even see this. You're not buying nearly enough Bitcoin to support the price, which will likely continue to decline unless you back up the truck. Notice how Bitcoin is already trading 6% below your average cost of last week's buy. Yeah, he's saying the quiet part out loud, Peter Schiff. That's crazy. This is cool. Yeah, why do you hate Bitcoin? He says, I don't hate Bitcoin. I hate the damage it does to the economy, the losses it will impose on individual investors, and the lies told to promote it. When it implodes, the damage stops and we can move on to cleaning up the mess. Well, until it implodes, I think I will become a millionaire rather than wait for it to implode. Am I right, fellas? All right. I also covered this briefly yesterday about the crypto whale who had the 100% win rate when it came to shorting the market on October, the insider on Hyperliquid. Just confirming this if you weren't aware already, he opened $55 million in Bitcoin and Ethereum longs. Hyper Unit Whale is betting on a rebound. What does he see that others don't? Like I said, potentially has insider information because of that perfect timing when it came to a huge short gain. He made $200 million from that crash in October 10. So maybe he knows something. And he's longing now. Should give us some reassurance. Hopefully. Peter Thiel warns that Bitcoin doesn't have much upside left because Bitcoin has been co-opted by BlackRock and the government, claiming that they own a lot of the supply, which I can understand, but why would they just start dumping on us? They could, and if that does happen, I will admit that will probably be the top of the cycle, but US government will not dump Bitcoin. It's in their strategic reserve. And BlackRock, I mean, they can, honestly, but it's only 600,000 Bitcoins that they have. I don't know the exact amount. I'm sure it's around that. 600,000 Bitcoins. And I've done the math before. Like, even if Satoshi woke up one day and sold all his 1 million Bitcoins, it would crash the price of Bitcoin only maybe $10,000. I did something like that. I did the math before. I don't plan on doing it right now. But just literally do the math. It's not just that all those suddenly 1 million Bitcoins will be added to the circulation, which will drop the price. But the fear that people are seeing that, oh my gosh, the creator just sold all his Bitcoin at once on the market is going to cause a huge cascade of dumps as well from literally everybody else, because they will be fearful as to why is Satoshi Nakamoto dumping Bitcoin suddenly. We thought this guy was dead or, disappeared, but now he's alive and dumping all the Bitcoin. That I could understand. But BlackRock, they're just one of the bunch of big institutional investors is what I see, and 600,000 Bitcoin will do half the damage. Sure, it will cascade some drops as to like, why is this $1 trillion asset company suddenly dumping all their Bitcoin? But like I said, that's just one of the bunch. We have Fidelity, we have Bitwise, we have ARK, we have Grayscale, all these other companies. They would all have to do it all at once. Like, every institution will have to dump all their Bitcoin all at once for it to cause something of that magnitude of fear, right? And like I said, I don't think that's going to happen. They would all have to like figure out agree upon a reason as to why to do this kind of stuff. And I just don't see why they would. Maybe, I don't know, institutions lose faith in crypto. That could be a thing, but no, I don't see why. Not at these times. So, dismissed. Opinion dismissed. Moving on. If you are scared, read this. Okay, in case you guys are scared, I will read this, but I'm not scared. In the first few days of November of last year, Bitcoin dumped from 71,000 to 66,000, and everyone said the market was done. Is that real? From what I remember, November 4th... Oh no, I do remember this actually. No, he's right. Where is here? It's all the way down here, isn't it? Do we even have enough historical data to show this? August, October, November. November dropped from 70,000 to 66,000. So we're talking about this tiny little dump over here. That's not fair. November 4, that's when Trump got elected and everything started skyrocketing. So I don't know if I fully agree with this. Yeah, this historically did happen, but like I don't think that same thing is gonna replicate in today's prices. Anyway, BTC pumped 60% from 66,000 to 108,000 in just 45 days from November 4th to December 15th. Two very important dates, right? November 4 was when Trump got elected, and December 15 is my birthday. Ethereum pumped 75%, and the altcoin market cap jumped 138%, sending many alts 5x to 10x in less than 2 months, which is true. And that was just the Trump effect, the fact that everybody was very optimistic about what Trump would bring to the crypto market for this year in 2025. I had a post that showed all the altcoin prices ever since Trump took office. I don't have it pulled up, so I'm just going to summarize it. Everything is in the red. So clearly it's not really working out at this point. After reality hit, we're basically back to square one when it comes to prices for altcoins since Trump took office. So this tells you that the market only needs 45 days to give explosive parabolic returns. That could happen. Today we are at the same spot. November just started and we are dumping, but all the data is positive. The Fed will cut rates in December. The odds have been decreasing of that, but I'm still inclined to believe that yes, they will have to cut rates, especially with how job market is. Potentially inflation is not going to be an issue. Here's the odds right now, 67% to 32%. 32% chance that we will maintain rates versus a 67% chance that we will cut rates. So basically 2/3 of a probability that we will indeed have a rate cut. That is what everyone should be expecting. Quantitative tightening will be ending on December 1st, which that was confirmed by Jerome Powell himself. Quantitative easing is here. The Fed is buying treasury bills. This is true. I don't have news articles on it right now, but I've been seeing posts about it. That is true. Crypto market bill close to buying. What? Okay, crypto market bill. I'm sure they're talking about Clarity Act. That's going to happen. The US trade deal with China has been signed. That's true. We've seen it. We've covered it. Gold has topped. That's also true. Bitcoin does follow the price movements of gold. It does lag behind it a little, but eventually it does catch up. And we're seeing the amount of money that is flowing in and out of gold. These are trillions of dollars, and those trillions can easily duplicate the price of Bitcoin. Not saying that it will. I don't think all of it will. But like I said, we've done the analysis before. Every week, you would add Bitcoin's market cap to gold's price. Like it's been increasing by that much. It went from 20 trillion to 30 plus trillion dollars in market cap. Bitcoin's market cap is only 2.5 trillion. So, $10 trillion, it exists. It's flowing out there. We also have billions in stable coins. We've got even more money just in M2 money supply, all-time highs, all the time. The US stocks, we're also seeing them hit all-time highs. Not specifically today, but just like in recent weeks. Like we're seeing the Japan stock index hit all-time highs. We're seeing Hong Kong. We're seeing Spain also. I haven't really talked much about Spain, but the IBEX, I think it is, IBEX here, has also been hitting all-time highs. Finally, because this stock index from Spain, we have not seen hit an all-time high since, wow, it's really not going to show me historical data. Awesome, that's even better. What's the Spain stock index? I'm assuming it's this. Yeah, this is the one. We have not seen an all-time high since 2007. The 2007-2008 crash that happened in Spain's stock market index has never been recovered for. Like, we've never recovered from that drop until just like recent weeks. This is a weekly chart. Since 2008, we have not seen these prices, and now we are hitting all-time highs on it as well. So that's good for that. I guess we'll look at S&P 500. We never do. Basically, you're at all-time high, right? NASDAQ, testing my knowledge here, 100? Or is it 1,000? No, it's 200. No, it's 100. This is NASDAQ. Yep. What else we got? Dow Jones is another one. You guys love to trade for whatever reason. There it is. Basically all-time high. Sure, this week has been a little down, but last week we were at all-time highs. That kind of deal. I'm going to stop there, but yeah. So we're not leaving. We're still bullish. Crypto prices are being manipulated and suppressed. I don't buy the idea that all the data is good. Everything in the world is pumping with liquidity, but crypto is done. I'm also part of that idea that it just doesn't make sense. So I'm holding, waiting patiently. Definitely not easy, but we all knew the risks before we started investing into internet money. That is true. And if it was easy, like everybody would just buy and everybody would just become rich tomorrow. And that is just not how it works. These markets are made for you to lose. That's why, we experienced October 10. Just because, right? Screw you guys. We're going to liquidate everyone just because. That kind of stuff happens. So you should be aware of the risks in this market. But I'll be the first to tell you that it is worth it. Maybe. No, not really. I don't know. It's up to you, depending on your risk tolerance. This is also happening, a Ripple event, XRP. Swell is what it's called, and apparently the White House will be making its first ever appearance at Ripple's Swell conference tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. The executive director of the President's Council of Advisors for Digital Assets, I don't know who that guy is. I'm assuming it's... it would have been Bo Hines, right? David Sachs, of course. Will be representing the White House at Ripple's Swell event in New York City tomorrow. You know what else is happening in New York City tomorrow? Elections, and I'm hearing a lot of noise about it when it comes to who's gonna win this mayoral election in New York City between Zoran Mandami and something Cuomo, Audrey Cuomo, I don't remember. And I mean, it seems like Trump is very anti Zoran Mandami. I don't know. From what I'm hearing is, I'm not going to opine too much on it. I don't know anything about it, but yeah. Anyways, may the best leader win. Moving on to Ripple, of course, continuing on with this. Today, Ripple announced the launch of digital assets spot prime brokerage capabilities for the US market through its Ripple Prime platform. This enables US-based institutional clients to execute over-the-counter spot transactions across dozens of prominent digital assets, including Ripple and Ripple's stablecoin. Will we see the Swell XRP pump this year, or is it just going to be a nothing burger? I think it's going to be a nothing burger. I hate it. I hate to say that, but come on. What are they going to announce in this event that'll make XRP do the thing where it does that, right? Come on. That's not going to happen. Or maybe it will. Something's got to happen because Ripple really feels dead. But that's just because it's so big. Who knows? Standard Charter CEO says that almost all global transactions will eventually run on the blockchain. I do agree with that. It's all just a matter of time. Reasons to stay bullish. Pump Fun is likely to get an airdrop at last this month. Long awaited, but like I'm against airdrops. Pump Fun is not pumping on the news. What is this? 29. I would have said, yeah, that was probably a good entry on Pump Fun, but I mean, if this is true that we will be getting airdrops, you know what happens when people do receive the airdrops is that they will immediately sell and cause more supply, inflate the supply, and drop the prices. So when that does come out and prices do drop, I will probably buy because I still do think Pump Fun will be the best meme coin platform. I know there's another one, Meme Core, that has been also performing very well in recent times. So MUSDT. It's pumping 2% today. I misclicked. Hold on. Here we go. That's not that big of a difference. But, I mean, it's still has been performing very well. Looks really good for trading, honestly. Very volatile. Too volatile. But I'm still, sticking with Pump Fun. I don't know too much about Meme Core, and I know more about Pump Fun, so I'll stick with that. All right, this is some FUD that has been going around. Spoiler alert, it's been confirmed fake, but we're going to go through it. There has been rumors swirling that Wintermute, one of crypto's largest market makers, is preparing to sue Binance over the losses from October 10 crash. And it could be the reasons for today's Bitcoin's Okay, I can't read. Today's Bitcoin price action. The flash crash wiped out $600 billion in crypto value in 30 minutes, triggering 1.7 million forced liquidations and marking the largest single-day liquidation event in crypto history. I lost a lot of money. You lost a lot of money. We all did. Nobody was safe. No matter how much leverage you used, you were liquidated. Everything dropped at least 80%. Wintermute CEO Evgeny Gaivoy, wow, what a name. He says that the firm was auto-deleveraged, which is ADL'd. This is a thing that you're going to see a lot when it comes to these perpetual exchanges. The auto-deleverage prices were at completely ridiculous levels on Binance and other exchanges, and is now evaluating legal options. Because when it comes to, like, you know, how far prices dropped, did we see anything? Wow, Memecore actually pumped on that same day, on October 10th. That is crazy. Let me go to, well, I don't know. My favorite example is Sui. The fact that we dropped from $3 to 50 cents, that's just diabolical. But it happened, right? That's all part of ADL, right? To keep the exchanges solvent, they force prices to drop as far below to basically ensure that everybody... to ensure that they don't lose money, and at the cost of your position getting liquidated and pushing the liquidation price further down. Because if you look at spot markets, you don't see these candlestick wicks, right? Let me literally go to Sui chart on spot. It's going to be Sui USD. Let's go to Binance itself. What happened on Binance? Okay, let me go to 4-hour chart. Okay, well, there you go. Proven wrong. Let's go to a different exchange. Coinbase. I mean, okay, we still had drops, but it wasn't that significant. That's the bottom line. Sui dropped to $2 on spot. Okay? On futures, it dropped to 50 cents. That's still a huge difference, right? So that was the big issue here. Binance has acknowledged that there were system overloads and massive auto-deleveraging triggers, but they denied any internal errors or preferential treatment. It spent $188 million from its insurance fund and refunded $283 million for Oracle DPEGs, excluding auto-deleveraging losses. Wintermute's tracked wallets dropped from $637 million to $572 million after the crash. And this is him yapping about it. So, lawsuit incoming for Binance, right? Wrong. Ignore the FUD. Wintermute CEO, he shut down the rumors of a Binance lawsuit and he calls them baseless. They never had any plans to sue Binance, so that was all basically made up by other people. People are saying, yes, Wintermute is suing Binance, but then he said, what a LARP, all complete BS. Sorry to disappoint you, but Wintermute is perfectly fine. Business as usual. Nothing has changed. We don't have any plans to sue Binance. Yeah, so it's all basically fake. None of that is happening. And CZ also came out to comment on this. What am I looking at over here? Stop it. Lots of random FUD in the market. People are in pain, jittery, and anxious. Whales are pouncing on it, spreading more FUD, and cashing in on it. Learn to verify, check with official sources on any news. If you believe the FUD, you will be what? Yeah, anyway. So he's just saying don't fall for the FUD. This is a interesting post on Aster. This guy's personal feelings on Aster, which I'm sort of inclined to believe as well. A lot of dumb posts like this, you know, people are like, oh, you guys should be buying into Aster. Okay, come on. Mostly from first cyclers, lobies who desperately need Aster to be the next hype to save their year. Removing my bias and putting the trader hat on these are a few theses. One, this is his opinion. Aster is a bad product, really bad actually. Try using it and then try using Hyperliquid. It's impressive how bad it is because it's basically just a Binance wrapper. You can long with a thesis that will drastically improve, and for some reason that Binance sacrifices their flagship product and goes all in Aster, which is unlikely. I agree with that. Aster is just literally only overhyped in my opinion because of Binance, because of CZ. They're not going to abandon Binance. Binance is the biggest centralized exchange. They will focus on it completely. The only difference between Binance and Aster is that Aster is quote-unquote decentralized. The decentralized exchange. But I don't feel like they're gonna focus more on Binance, bottom line. Like if worse comes to worse and they had to pick between the two, Aster's gone. Screw Aster. We're gonna protect Binance. That's what I feel from the team. And like that's the only reason why it's popular. It's just because it's backed by Binance. Like, let's keep Binance focused on centralized exchanges because that's what they're good at. And let's keep Hyperliquid focused on decentralized exchanges because that's clearly what they're good at. They are the best performing decentralized exchange. So I'll leave it at that. So, some sort of 40 arrangement where Trump-related entities get a significant amount of supply, and for some reason Aster becomes America's perp DEX, seems pretty unlikely. Also, returns on Trump-affiliated coins have been mixed. I don't know what that's specifically referring to. CZ just wants to give you free money and will come in and send it to $4. You're showing your newness if you believe this. Also, I did the math. $4 on Aster is mathematically not that possible. Of course, if you inject any amount of capital in it, it will pump to $4, but we're talking like it's going to have to be like a top 10 coin. And that's just not possible for a DEX. I mean, okay, you could say Hyperliquid, yeah, but Hyperliquid is still much larger than Aster at this point. And it will stay bigger than Aster, in my opinion. Every attempt to get some bullish PA that fails makes him care less and less. I'm really not sure where this CZ is a great guy who loves you when everyone wins narrative comes from. He's a shark. You think the extractors this cycle are bad? CZ is the OG extractor. Keep in mind this guy was literally prisoned, and that's why I don't really trust CZ in my opinion. Literally the best to ever do it, and you're buying his coins in hopes that he gives you free money. Good luck. I think, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. You will be the exit liquidity. And I think you were. He probably bought over here a good amount and said, hey guys, I'm buying Aster. He posted on Twitter. Everybody else buys into it. And I mean, by the time that you're looking at it, he's probably already taken his profits. Let's see if we have dropped by now. Oh yeah, that is a beautiful drop, isn't it? This is you, by the way. You're the exit liquidity. He said that he wasn't going to sell. There's no real way to prove whether or not he sold. I'm sure he was tempted to. Just a quick little cash grab. Whatever. So Aster's already dropped basically even lower than when it started its pump. So, yep, nice. There's a few problems with putting on this trade even if you believe the above to be true. What if CZ gives up? What if he realizes that all this posting is significantly hurting Binance sentiment and decides wisely to back away slowly from the project like he should have been doing this entire time? Then what? You hold to zero? Where's your invalidation? Like I said, it's all just because CZ promotes the coin. That is the only reason why it's popular. And maybe some waifu promoting it at an event, but that's it. As a trader, you have to remove your bias when it comes to these things, but objectively, the trade setup is mid at best, with a lot of assumptions and potential for a literally 90% drawdown if you hold after he loses interest, so good luck. That is why I also agree with most of this here. I will probably never get into Aster. I don't plan on doing that. We're at 89, 90 cents. Never thought we'd see these prices. I was expecting a drop to like 50, 150. Sorry, not 50, 150, around over here, which October 10 just completely blew below that, but I was partially right. And then I don't think we fully recovered after that. Nope. So there you go. That's Aster for you. Balancer, that was the name of this exchange. I don't know what exactly it is, but they got hacked. They got a $100 million plus exploit, drained staked Ethereum despite 11 audits by 4 top security firms. That is not good. At around 7 a.m. UTC, an exploit affected Balancer V2 composable stable pools. Team is working with leading security researchers to understand the issue. We'll share additional information and a full post-mortem as soon as possible. Because these pools have been live on-chain for several years, like I said, well, I didn't say this, but it's a very old chain, whatever this is called, Balancer. Many were outside the pause window. Any pools that could be paused have been paused. Yeah, just a bunch of cope. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm running out of time too. I do have to wake up early tomorrow. But yeah, Balancer exploit still ongoing. Stolen assets across multiple chains are now exceeding $98 million. Protocol appears to have been exploited. About 70 million in assets were transferred out, and it's mainly wrapped Ethereum that was scammed. The total stolen funds from the Balancer exploit have now surged to $116.6 million. All right, cool. So there's that also going on. Not good for crypto sentiment. I'm sure this is probably why maybe Ethereum is on its way down 3%. It's not even that bad though. 3,621. Good price for Ethereum, although I dislike it, but there it is. Cecilia Swell is back with just a little update on what's been going on with her. I feel bad for her. Mexi has been suffering, and she has been working hard, apparently. She says she wrapped up her 5th day locked in a hotel room, dealing with non-stop calls, endless comments, 1 meal a day, barely 4 hours of sleep. Not just me, the whole Mexi customer service, risk control, marketing teams have been grinding non-stop behind the scenes. We keep our word. More funds are unlocking, so if you're not aware, Mexi was accused of locking up funds, especially if you make too much money too quickly. They will lock up your millions, and you're going to have to go through a lengthy customer service process to get those funds unfrozen so that you can, you know, claim your money. Exactly, like what is the reason? It just seems to be, hey, you're suspicious because you made too much money too fast. What are you, insider? Maybe. Palantir reported their earnings, and a lot of other companies. Revenue beat, earnings per share beat, so the stock is up 3% after hours. I don't remember what else. Earnings. What else was reporting today? I should probably have this saved, shouldn't I? This is this week. Palantir, hims and hers, nothing really important today. Tomorrow, AMD, Super Microcomputers, Marathon Digital Holdings, that's for crypto. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know too much about these other companies. Uber, Shopify, Spotify, Pfizer. Oh, HUD 8. HUD 8 will be important as well. Tomorrow will be crypto related, partially. But I don't think it's going to have a huge impact on the crypto market. It's more related to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's already such a massive thing that it's not going to have too much of an impact. OpenAI announced a lot of partnerships. We have seen some of them before, but they keep on going. Stargate, a $500 billion deal. Nvidia, $100 billion. AMD, $100 billion. Amazon Web Services, $38 billion. This one I think was announced today. Really, you're going to trust Amazon Web Services even after all these blackouts that they've been having, outages? But you do you. Intel, $25 billion. Taiwan Semiconductor, $20 billion. Microsoft, $13 billion. Broadcom, $10 billion. Oracle, $10 billion. Total value of $816 billion in partnerships. Man, when OpenAI does go live on the stock exchange, their IPO, if that ever does happen, you can't IPO now because government shut down. But if they do, it would be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty explosive. We'll see. And my last bit of news. Apple will be using Google Gemini for the next version of Siri. Why not ChatGPT? Why not OpenAI? I thought Apple and OpenAI had a partnership. And you're using Gemini for your next version of Siri. I think Gemini is probably one of the worst AIs. Sorry, Google. But anyway. Also, why doesn't Apple just make their own AI? That would just help them out tremendously. There would be, I don't know, maybe too much competition. It's better to, like, you can't beat them, join them. I guess that's their kind of mentality. Did Apple change their CEOs yet? Apple CEO. Is it still Tim Cook? Yeah, it is. He hasn't retired yet, but he's leaving soon. Well, he's not retiring. He's just stepping down as CEO and being the head of some other irrelevant department at Apple. And some other dude is going to replace him. If you didn't know. There you go. All right. My closing remarks. What do I expect? So tomorrow, I don't know. Maybe tomorrow will just stay flat. What volatility could be brought by tomorrow? Ripple events happening tomorrow, but it's not going to affect markets too much. Maybe it won't even affect Ripple that much. We're also, I mean, I think it's the tariff thing on Wednesday, the Supreme Court. I'm expecting that to pass. It has passed multiple times before. And I think it's just like Democrat cope. They don't want to see the United States succeed or something, so I don't know what the real reasoning is. That's just what I perceive from it. Like, why are you against tariffs? They're clearly good for the country. Yeah, like we've seen our crashes when tariffs got imposed, but you know, after things have settled, they ended up being really good for the economy, for the country. Inflation isn't that high. Things are rising. The stock market's still hitting all-time highs despite these tariffs going into effect. And it's a good thing to bring countries to the table and announce peace deals, or no, not peace deals, trade deals, maybe even peace deals when it comes to like ending wars and stuff like that. Because I mean, I think India is still like the highest tariffed country left, like from the United States, and that's because of the Russia-Ukraine war, the whole buying Russian gas, oil and gas. To try to destabilize the Russian economy so that to pressure them to end the war. But, I mean, India is just being uncooperative. Despite the tariffs, they're still buying the Russian oil. So, no big changes there, but they're going to suffer until it hurts, is what Trump's mentality, I think, is there. So, yeah, I think it's going to go well. Maybe that'll be the catalyst that we need to start pumping once again. And I do believe we are absolutely oversold on a lot of these markets. Rate cut probability is still in our favor. Government shutdown needs to end. It's unfortunate that it will last until December. I think it was originally projected to last until mid-November. That's what I was hoping to like also be one of the catalysts that'll make us go higher, is just the darn shutdown ending already so that we could start rising. But no, clearly it's going to be a thing that's going to take a long moment. Or who knows, maybe just out of the blue one day it all gets announced that, hey, we're canceling the shutdown. Because nobody really knows. These are prediction markets that we're basing our prediction off of, I guess. How much we estimate the government shutdown to last for. It's just a lot of people throwing their money around and expecting it to end on a random date. December 1st is what it seems to be. I think that's too far. Who knows? Who was the guy? Some White House person said, yeah, we're expecting to have the government shutdown over by before Thanksgiving, right? Which would be mid-November. But I don't know. People are pricing in until December 1st is what it seems like now. I think it was Hassett, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Or maybe it was Lutnick, Howard Lutnick. One of them. So we'll see. It's all going to take some time. All right, that'll be all done for tonight. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, same hour, 11. And I guess we'll do a brief recap if anything important did happen at XRP event, as well as any other geopolitical news that does come out at that date, at that time. So just a reminder to subscribe. That is all. While you're down there, hit the like button.